Segment tonight, Ann Coulter was supposed to speak last night at the University of Ottawa up in Canada, but she was shut down by left-wing protesters.
Get Ann Coulter off our campus! Get Ann Coulter off our campus! Get Ann
You're trying to intimidate me, you black guy!
Hate speech canceled! Hate speech canceled!
Speech on our campus! No more hate speech on our campus!
No more hate speech on our campus!
Do you know what a constitution is? Do you know what the constitution is? That's a no. That's a no.
All right, quite a commotion. And even before Ms. Coulter's speech, one of the vice presidents at the school wrote her a letter telling her that she could be prosecuted in Canada if she said anything hateful. That set the tone. Joining us now from Toronto, Susan G. Cole, a columnist for Now magazine. So I understand that you supported the demonstrators that would not allow Ann to speak. That sounds kind of un-Canadian to me, is it not?
Well, I don't know that I'd say that, Bill. I think that what Americans are noticing in this situation is a real difference between American political culture and ours. And I think that it's important to mention a few very specific things. Many of us feel that Ann Coulter should be able to speak at a conservative think tank, at a lecture hall, anywhere in Ottawa, anywhere in Canada, but that the universities are not the place for provocateurs and people who target certain minorities and even majorities in the case of women. And it's interesting to hear the students shouting off our campus. They didn't say out of Canada, they didn't say out of Ottawa, and they have a sense of how they want to have conversations in their own community.
All right, well, as a former teacher, though, I was always encouraged to let my students hear all points of view. So that they will be schooled, pardon the pun, in what the liberals think, what the conservatives think. So I don't know if
Right.
Canadian education is doing itself any favor by tossing somebody like Ann Coulter off campus.
I think you make a good point about wanting to hear all kinds of points of view. In fact, conservative politics are all over our campuses, and certainly conservative political thinkers are taught in many of our political science courses. You can't get a politics degree if you don't know Hobbes. So I don't think it's the ideas, Bill, that's the problem. I think it's the tone, it's the quality
All right, well,
of the
give
dialogue.
me an example of what,
especially from somebody like
give me an example. Look. You're an educated woman, you write a column. Give me an example of something that Ann Coulter has said or done that disqualifies her from addressing. Nobody was forced to see Ann Coulter, by the way, Ms. Cole, on a campus. You either
true.
come or you don't come.
All of that's
true.
true.
So nobody's forced.
Yeah.
So what disqualifies her from being there?
Well, let's be clear. She's called herself a bigot at certain points.
But I want you to tell me what about her offends you specifically.
Well, I think her comment that women shouldn't be allowed to vote and then therefore the Republicans would win is one example.
I think that's a joke and a jest.
Let me explain, Bill. The specific thing that set people off in this instance was her statement that all Muslims should be on a no-fly list. And that was exactly what prompted the provost of the University of Ottawa to send her the letter warning that that kind of speech could violate our hate laws in this country.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's an interesting example. All right, so Ann Coulter says all Muslims should be on no-fly lists. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk to her tomorrow night, so and I'm going to absolutely put that to her. She is a person who exaggerates to make a point, but she may believe that. She may believe it. Let's say she does believe that. So that's her opinion that Muslims should be on a no-fly list. It's not anybody's policy. So why would you now say she can't say that opinion in Canada? Certainly she can say it down here.
She can. She can't say it on the campus. It's really important.
Why? Why can't she say it on the campus? Why?
Because in Canada we have regulations that make it important that there's an environment on the campus that allows students to live, think, learn in safety.
Okay, but she's saying Muslims should be on a no-fly list.
Saying that Muslims should be on a no-fly zone targets Muslim students who have a right to be able to go about their business without...
What if she said most terrorism, and she has said this, is generated by Muslims? Then she gets thrown off too?
Well, I don't know. I'm just, first
Well,
of
you
all,
sh-
she
wait,
might
wait,
say
wait,
that,
Ms.
but you
Cole,
asked me
you
for
have to make
specific
an
examples, and I'm giving you the
all right, if you say the no-fly list is over the top, which I don't think it is, I just think
It's not the
like that.
no-fly list, it's the all Muslims. Anytime you say all or
right, so if she
generalize,
said most
you're
Muslims,
getting
then it would be like
perilously
that.
close to hate speech in this country.
I don't know.
That's the difference.
I don't see it as hate speech as much as hyperbole, and I think the students in Canada are mature enough to either accept it or reject it, and I think that you're...
They're welcome to go to see a lecture somewhere else. This is a publicly funded institution.
Yeah, so-
Most of the institutions that Ann Coulter's visited in America are private institutions.
No, she's spoken on college
Publicly funded,
campuses
it's
here.
public space.
All right. Well, Ms. Cole, we appreciate you putting forth your point of view. As I said, Ann Coulter will be on The Factor tomorrow evening, and it's an interesting situation.